Hey Doc, how are you? Good to see you,
I'm
Rev.
good. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Are you in an automobile somewhere stranded on the highway?
No, you know where where you're going to be in a couple of minutes here. So
Oh, are
if
you
you hear
really?
yourself in the
Oh,
background, it's
okay,
more
you
of a
came
PA.
up. All right, well, thank you. Well,
So,
thanks for what you're doing.
hey, no, thank you, sir. Thank
It
you.
matters a lot.
We're going to make this happen.
As they say, from your lips to God's ears.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you, Reverend Harden.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vice President.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm just going to count you in, Reverend Harkins, if you will just take 2 breaths after I say live, and then you can begin speaking. Okay, sir?
Great.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, we are going live in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reverend Derek Harkins, National Director for Interfaith Outreach at the DNC. And I'm honored to welcome you all of you from across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, to this Zoom call with Vice President Joe Biden. If you've seen the Vice President's widely published op-ed that appeared in the Christian Post, you saw him speak about the authenticity of his faith. Joe Biden has been on the mountaintop as he served alongside our 44th president. And yet we also know he's made his way through some significant valleys. And as he has said, his faith has always been his anchor. We know as president, he'll be committed to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with his God. Joe Biden is about doing the work of restoring the soul of our nation, the work of rebuilding what has been broken by divisiveness and neglect, about bringing back integrity, accountability, and decency. We are so glad that Vice President Biden is able to speak with us as we all continue to do that work leading up to November 3rd. With less than 48 hours to go, the work of battling for the soul of our nation is the most critical work that we could ever be doing. My friends and colleagues, it is indeed my honor to present Vice President Joe Biden.
Well, thank you, Reverend Harkins. It's my honor. It really is my honor. And thanks for the introduction. And for everyone what you've been doing for our country, for our party, for our democracy for so long. You're a good man, as my mom would say. And thanks to all of you for joining. If this were a normal campaign, we'd be meeting in your churches right now. That's one of the things I miss the most. I come from a state that has the 8th largest African American population. I was politically brought up in the black church. That's not an exaggeration. But that's why I wanted to do this call today, above all, to thank you for all you do, all you continue to do. You know, Kamala and I are sincerely grateful for your prayers and your support. And I want to thank you for this virtual event that you've organized today, and for the Get Out, the GOTV work you've been leading your way through now. I mean, look, we can't do this without you. That's simply the case. That's not hyperbole. You know, we've been at the core of this campaign, but you've been at the core of the campaign from the very start. And you are the core of what all we have to do together now. These are tough times. I don't have to tell you all. I know I know they demand a lot of all of you who have churches, helping congregants who lost a loved one in COVID and how to deal with the grief. I've been there, looking at that empty chair in the morning, at that kitchen table, and or leaning over at night to touch your mate and realize he or she's not there. They turn to you. They turn to you when they've lost their jobs, when they've been forced to close their businesses, or facing eviction, as 20 million people are in terms of their homes and many more in terms of their apartments. And their call for racial justice echoes in your heart and in your sermons. Our faith in our country is really being tested. And our faith in God, I believe, is the thing that's going to help us through because of you. You are sources of hope. You're wellsprings of hope. You've always been. The Black Church has been there to help people through the most difficult times, circumstances that many of us can't even fathom. So I want to thank you for your commitment to the greatest commandment, to love our neighbor as ourselves, and for your dedication to never grow weary doing your job, but you have to sometimes. God willing, if we win, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. And I'm going to need all of you. I really will. If I win, I'm going to need all of you. This is not just getting elected. It's putting the country back together, restoring the soul of the country in a literal sense. You know, I said that when I announced, and people sort of made fun of me. Not you all. People thought, what's he talking about? When I saw those folks come out of those fields down in Charlottesville, carrying torches, close your eyes, remember what they look like. Their veins bulging, hate spewing out of their mouth, carrying Nazi flags, anti-Semitic bile, accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. And when a young woman was killed, the president was asked, what do you think? And he said there were very fine people on both sides. No president in American history has ever said anything like that. We need you with us to build back and build back better than before. We've got to be better than we were before we got into this. But first, I'm here now at Sharon Baptist Church in Philly because we need to get every soul to the polls. Things may be a little different this year, but your job is the same, to get every last one of us to vote right now, today. In Philly, you can still vote today, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. I'm asking you to join us all across this make or break state so we don't leave a single vote on the table. I'm not taking anything for granted, nothing for granted. You know, we've all been part of a lot of elections, but this one is really different. We're at an inflection point in this country. Depending on the outcome of this election, it's going to determine what the next couple of generations are going to look like, what we're going to face. And every day is a new reminder of how high the stakes are, how far the other side is willing to go to suppress the vote. You got to go all the way back to flat out old Jim Crow to get to the point where there's many people, there's just such a suppression of the vote and a psychological suppression, implying that it's all illegal, so why bother do it? But the American people are not going to be silenced. Over 90 million have already voted. They've had enough. There's too much in the line to sit it out. So please continue to spread the word. This is a time to stay strong, to stay empowered, optimistic, and united. The American people are going to decide this election if we all vote, no matter what the other team does. And our late friend John Lewis said, freedom is not a state, it's an act. I know you all know it. Freedom is an act, not a state. It's not automatic. He channeled the gospel hymn that guides us today when he said, I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started. Nobody told me the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave. He didn't. We are not tired. The road hasn't been easy, but we've come too far to stop now. When everyone uses their sacred democratic power to vote, we're going to be on the right course in our country again. I'll never forget what President Kennedy said when he promised to send us to the moon. Some of you will remember as well. He said we were doing it because, quote, refuse to postpone. I refuse to postpone the work America must do. There's nothing beyond our capacity. There's no limit to our future. The only thing that can tear America apart is America itself. No other country, no outside force can. Everybody knows who Donald Trump is. He's been trying to tear us apart. From the moment he got involved, dividing us on religion, race, ethnicity. It's just, let's show them who we are. They know who Donald Trump is. We choose hope over fear, unity over division, science over fiction, and yes, truth over lies. It seems to me that's the task before us. Because you've always told truth over lies. You speak the truth. So thank you for everything you're doing to keep the faith in each one of us, in each other, in this country. Every time I'd leave my grandpa's house up in Scranton when I was a kid, we'd go back to visit. He'd yell, Joey, as I'm out the door, Joey, keep the faith. My grandma, when she was alive, she said, no, Joey, spread it. Let's go spread the faith. American people are so much better than this. So much better. We gotta make them believe again. God bless you all, and may God protect